Hey guys, welcome back to Beard Grain. I'm Josh, and today's video is going to be a bit of a prequel to the first video that I posted on this page, which was How to Grow Your Beard Part 1, The Basics. This is sort of going to be How to Grow Your Beard Part 0, The Stages of Beard Growth. And this is sort of a response to a commenter on that first video, whose username I believe was Hike Daily, or at least I think that's how you would pronounce it, who felt that I didn't properly address the stages of beard growth and that I kind of went too quickly into beard maintenance and grooming. Now, the reason that I didn't spend too much time on the stages of beard growth, which I spent about the first 3 minutes discussing how to treat your face, how to not, sort of harm your beard or your skin while you're letting it grow out. The reason I didn't go into the actual week by week or month by month breakdown is because that's going to vary wildly depending on the individual. Everybody's hair grows at a different rate and in different stages. Some people are going to have a full face of stubble after the first few days. Other people are going to have to wait 2 weeks before they even start to see a shadow of hair on their face. Some people have patchy areas that don't fill in until later in the growing process. Some people have spots on their face that just never fill in because of their genetics or their diet or what have you. There's a million different things that can impact this. So the sort of short answer and the most obnoxious answer, unfortunately, is to start growing your beard, clean shave your face, make sure your skin is sort of in a good condition. Don't start trying to grow your beard when you've got a ton of acne on your face, or if you've got really dry spots, or maybe you've like scratched your face or something like that. That's not a great time to start trying to grow a beard. You want to make sure your skin is healthy before you start this process, because if you're starting with damaged, unhappy skin, it's only going to make it harder to keep your skin happy while your beard grows, and it may actually impede hair growth if you have damaged follicles on your face. So first off, clean shaven face with lots of nice happy skin on it. From there, the answer is kind of just stop shaving. I realize that's extremely frustrating because for some people that doesn't necessarily trigger a rapid amount of hair growth. On myself, if I stop shaving in a week, you can't really see my skin anymore. I'm just kind of lucky like that in the sense that I want to have a beard and my body is very good at growing a beard. Now, if you're looking for advice on how to sort of develop hair on your face faster, I can give you some information that I've studied and read up on, but I haven't really implemented any of it on myself because I don't need it. My hair grows very quickly naturally, so I don't feel the need to try to help it along, and actually I'm kind of worried of what would happen if I did. So, a couple of things that you can try that just are a little more basic. Having additional testosterone in your body, at least as far as I understand the male, anatomy, will help you grow more hair. I'm pretty sure this works the same for women if you gals out there are trying to grow your own beard. But having additional testosterone in your system should help with hair growth. So if you're doing things that naturally produce additional testosterone, I believe eating a lot of red meat does this, lifting heavy weights and being extremely physical can aid in this. There's lots of different things that you can do. I'm certainly not going to recommend that you go out and get testosterone treatments to like inject floating free testosterone into your system. But the idea is having more testosterone in your system should aid in beard growth. So like if you're not going to the gym and lifting weights, you could try doing that. If you're on like a vegan diet, that's probably not going to help you out too much. At least as far as I understand it. Nothing against vegans. Well, some stuff against vegans, but that's certainly another conversation for another time. So you could work on that. Another thing is you can take biotin. Biotin is a natural sort of nutrient that's found in your body. You can take supplements of biotin. A lot of times you'll see these sort of targeted towards pregnant women because it's supposed to help them through some of the nutrient loss that they deal with while they're going through pregnancy. But it does have the side effect of causing your hair to grow in thicker, fuller, and also your fingernails to grow in faster, thicker, and fuller. So if you have a biotin deficiency, or if you just want to increase the amount of available biotin in your system, you can take biotin. It's just a supplement that you can buy at the store. I believe vitamin E also aids in this, though I'm not certain about that one. Moving on to some more sort of serious treatments, there are derma rollers and there is minoxidil. So a derma roller is basically a small plastic or metal tool, a little handheld tool, almost looks like a handheld razor, except on the end of it is a wheel, and on that wheel are a bunch of tiny pins or little prickly bits. You're going to roll this across the skin on your face, and what that's going to do is cause a bunch of micropunctures on your skin. You're not going to bleed, it's not going to hurt, nothing like that. But what you are doing is causing a small amount of damage and irritation to your skin. That might seem counterintuitive, but what your body is going to do to sort of repair that sort of mildly damaged skin is send a bunch of additional nutrients and resources to the surface of your face. And one side effect of that should be additional hair growth and sort of follicle development. Again, this isn't something that I've tried on myself, but from studies that I've read online and examples that people have posted of their own experiences, it does seem to work for some people. This is something you might want to use if you have certain sections of your face that aren't growing in as quickly as the rest. You could try to use a derma roller on those sections of your face. I don't know if it's something you do daily or weekly. You'd have to do your own research on that, but that option is out there. Then beyond that, if you want to go sort of to the extreme, and this is almost on the same level as like the whole free testosterone thing that I was talking about before, where I certainly wouldn't recommend it because it's more of a medical decision, but the option is out there if you want to research it and find out more about it, is minoxidil. The sort of common term that you hear for minoxidil is Rogaine. That's sort of the brand name, but Rogaine is just a chemical called minoxidil, and this chemical induces follicle development and hair growth. It's usually used for men that have, and women, that have sort of like natural balding on their heads. This chemical will have the same effect, or from what I've read, has the same effect on the skin on your face. For a long time, there was kind of a rumor going around that people using Rogaine on their face are crazy. Rogaine only works on the top of your head. That's not true. I've actually read like scientific studies that have been performed on blind groups or double-blind groups of individuals in parts of the world where natural genetics in males, don't really produce a lot of facial hair other than maybe a wispy mustache. Places like the Philippines and Vietnam. And after 60 to 90 days of working with minoxidil, following a strict regimen of when you use it and how much you use and how you apply it, these gentlemen all had large, full, like mountain man beards, and that's just wildly against their genetics. So obviously there was some impact on their ability to grow hair, and like I said, it was a double-blind group, and the other half of the group that was given placebo ointment grew no additional hair. So obviously it was directly related to the use of minoxidil. You could go out and buy Rogaine, but it is a bit pricier. You can also just buy generic brand minoxidil. You can even find it at like Sam's Club or BJ's, any big box wholesale store. It's very common. Again, I'm not recommending you use this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not allowed to offer you medical advice, but this substance exists and you can go check it out. So those are all things that you can sort of use to assist the growth process, to sort of kickstart things if you feel like you're not developing hair naturally. Once you do feel like your hair is sort of coming along, again, the process of getting to a point where you feel like what you have is a full beard, it's obviously an opinion. What you think is a beard might be different than what somebody else thinks is a beard, but I think we can all agree that at some point you're going to look at a person and go, that's a beard, that's not stubble, that's not a goatee, that's a beard, that's a full beard. That point is going to be something that you reach, at a varying sort of like sliding scale. It's going to be different for everybody. For me, after about 4 months, I have a pretty big beard. For some people, it takes a year to get to a point where they have 3 or 4 inches on their face. For other people, it might take 2 or 3 years. It's all varied based off of your diet, the available nutrients in your body, how your body naturally produces hair, your genetics, how healthy your skin is, how well you take care of the hair. Again, that's why I spent a lot of time in that first video talking about making sure that the skin on your face is kept healthy and that you take good care of the hair on your face. Because a lot of times if your skin starts to get irritated and raw, and if you're not taking care of it, that's going to hinder hair growth. And you want to start taking care of it very early on in the process. You don't want to wait until you have 2 or 3 inches of hair on your face to start using a beard oil, because at that point the skin on your face has already gotten dry and raw from all of those oils being saturated or being absorbed into the beard and wicked into the hair, leaving your skin completely sort of unnourished. So very early in the process, I would say 2 or 3 weeks into the process, you want to start applying a small amount of oil to your face, even once you just have a thick sort of field of stubble on your face. Now again, I say 2 to 3 weeks. For you, maybe that's 2 to 3 months. For other people, maybe that's 2 to 3 days. It's going to vary quite a bit. So I can't quite talk about the stages of growth without knowing exactly what your growing process is, how quick it is, does it come in full everywhere, is it patchy? All that kind of stuff is going to vary from person to person. But you can use all of those sort of tips that I gave you, sort of things that you can try on improving the rate of hair growth and the consistency of hair growth. And then, like I said, as soon as you start to develop that hair on your face, you want to start taking care of it using the tips that I recommended in my first video, part 1, the basics. I would say, and as Hike Daily recommended or made the comment that I spoke too much about grooming, I would say grooming is actually something that comes much later. Grooming is straightening your beard, shaping the edges of your beard, how to line up your beard properly from ear to mouth line, how to clean up your neck and your jawline. That's what I think of as grooming, how to use a curling brush and a blow dryer to straighten things out, or even a beard straightener, though I don't prefer those. I've tried them. I actually like the curling brush and the blow dryer method quite a bit more. How to use a balm or a butter to shape your beard and control frizziness, how to use nice trimming shears or scissors to straighten up the shape of your beard and get that nice rounded hedge look to your beard so it's not so wild. That's what I would consider grooming. That was going to be my part 2 or even part 3 video. What I was covering in the video that I put up, part 1, all of that stuff is really just maintaining your beard and keeping it healthy and happy so you can continue to grow it out. Like I said, the biggest issue with growing a beard is a lot of people will get 2 or 3 months in and they won't properly have taken care of the skin and the hair on their face. It starts to get irritated. It hurts to actually have it on your face. It feels like it's chafing. It feels very frustrating. You want to scratch at it and you don't want to feel that anymore, and you eventually give up and just shave it off. That is actually what prevents most people from getting to the point where they have a full beard on their face. It's just not taking care of it from the beginning. So when you want to know more about the stages of growth, I would say the most important thing at any stage of growth, whether it's a week in or a year in, is taking care of your skin and the hair. Because if at any point you let that go off the rails, it's very hard to tame it and get it back on. It's very hard to get your skin back to happy and healthy when you're trying to fight through the hair on your face to get to the skin and keep the oils good and keep everything clean. That process is something you really want to keep an eye on right from the beginning. I would say that's the most important thing about growing a beard. That doesn't have anything to do with grooming. That's just maintenance. That's keeping it happy so you can continue to grow it, because you really do need 4 to 6 months or beyond, and you need to be comfortable with it on your face that whole time. So you want to avoid touching it and playing with it, getting stuff with your hands into your beard and onto the skin, because that's going to irritate it. You want to keep the oils on your face clean and, excessive enough, or, in demand, in supply enough that your skin is always well, saturated with oil and nice and soft and not getting dry and running out of moisture. And you want to keep the hair on your face, pretty well, not groomed, but sort of brushed out or combed out. Because a lot of times as you get into this growing process, you're going to find that the hair on your face isn't necessarily as straight or manageable as the hair on your head. I know a lot of us have some curly hair on our head, but sometimes the hair on your face can just be straight up wiry and coarse, even once it gets to like an inch long, which is relatively early in the growing process. At that point, it can curl back onto your face, can actually curl back and start to prickle you in the skin. And that can cause that same itchy, irritating feeling, which is going to cause you to want to scratch at it. It's going to irritate you, and eventually you're going to give up and shave it off your face. If you do a good job of taking care of the skin, that'll be less prone to happening. And if you start to use something like a balm or a butter in the hair, as well as straightening it, or at least brushing and combing it out every time you get out of the shower or throughout the course of the day, if you have very curly hair, it's going to help keep that hair straight and away from your skin. You don't want the tips of the hair curling back and prickling you in the face. It's going to cause that same itching, irritating feeling, and it's going to be difficult to deal with, and you're going to give up. So again, these aren't necessarily strictly grooming things. They have to do with keeping you in a comfortable situation where you can continue to let the beard grow. And you need to start having these things in mind early on in the process. As soon as you start to have even, a quarter of an inch of hair on your face, you want to make sure you're keeping oil on your skin. You want to make sure that you're brushing the hair in a direction, sort of all down on your face, or whichever way seems to be the natural growth direction at that point. You want to keep things from getting curly and wiry and prickly. And so that's why I was giving that advice in my first video. It wasn't what I would call grooming. It was maintenance. It's all about keeping your face and your hair happy and healthy so you can continue on the process until you reach the point where you want to, the length that you want, the bulk that you want. And then we can talk about grooming. And then we can talk about trimming and shaping and lining up and all that stuff. So anyways, I hope this bit has been a bit more helpful for anybody that feels like I didn't talk enough about the beard growth stages. Take all of this with a grain of salt, because like I said, I haven't really used any of these growth aids on myself because I don't need them. But I've done quite a bit of reading online, and I've heard from different people with different examples of how their beards grow and issues that they've had. And these seem to be the things that have worked for a lot of people. So feel free to give them a shot. I'd love to hear in the comments down below if they worked for you. But hopefully this fills in any questions that you had. And soon I'll be moving on to beard video number 2, which, like I said, is going to be a bit more on butters and balms and shaping, and maybe even a little bit of trimming and lining up. And then we'll do like a full beard shaping, grooming thing in like a video 3 in the future, because that's quite a video to make. And a lot of times the answer is just please go to a barber. If you don't know what you're doing, go to a barber. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you have time to comment down below. If you like the types of videos that I'm making here, subscribe to the channel, set your notification bell to all so you don't miss future videos when I post them. Leave a like or a dislike so I have some idea of how you guys are liking this content. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.